Hello students, in this today's class we are going to study two important concepts. The first one is Peano's postulates and the second one is intervals. So let us begin with the first one, Peano's postulates. We know that set of natural numbers have several properties and some of its important properties are Peano's postulates. Peano's postulates are axioms and they are 5 in number. So let us begin with Peano's postulates. The first one postulate will denote by the P1 and it is 1 belongs to n. If set of natural numbers is denoted by capital N, then obviously set of natural number contains 1. So 1 belongs to n, which means that n is a non-empty set. N is a non-empty set and it contains an element. It contains an element which we denote as 1. Okay, it contains an element 1. So this is the first postulate, which is the axiom, and it is given by Peano. The second one, Peano's postulate, is P2 and it is for each element small n belongs to the set of natural numbers capital N, there is a unique element. There is a unique element. That element will denote by the n naught, which belongs to the set of natural numbers n. Okay, and that n naught is called the successor of n. The successor of n. Successor means the element which succeeds n. Next one, the third axiom, that is P3, is for each small n belongs to the set of natural numbers capital N, n naught is not equal to 1, which means that 1 is not the successor of any element in the set of natural numbers. Okay, 1 is not a successor of any element of the set capital N. This is the third postulate. Next one, the fourth postulate given by the Peano is P4 and it is for each pair n comma m belongs to capital N, set of natural numbers. Okay, with n not equal to m, means if we take two distinct elements from the set capital N, then we have n naught is not equal to m naught, which means that distinct elements in set capital N have distinct successors. Then the fifth Peano's postulate is if A is a subset of set of natural numbers and 1 belongs to A and P belongs to A implies P naught belongs to A, then we have A equal to n. The fifth axiom is if A is a subset of n such that A contains 1 and if P is a member of A, then P naught is also a member of A. P naught means the successor of P. So whenever P is a member of A, then its a successor P naught is also a member of A. If such subset A of n exists, then we have A equal to n. So like such we have these 5 Peano's postulates and these are 5 axioms, and these are well-known properties of the set of natural numbers. Okay, these are the properties of natural numbers. Here in this case, P5 means the fifth postulate is nothing but it is the principle of mathematical induction. This is principle of mathematical induction. Principle of mathematical induction. Therefore, by the mathematical induction, it follows that every non-empty subset of natural numbers has a first element. By the first element we mean smallest element. Okay. So from here it follows that every non-empty subset of natural numbers has a first element. Here by the first element we mean smallest element, and this is nothing but this is known as the well ordering principle. Okay, this is called as the well ordering principle. Which later on we are again going to study in detail. Okay, so this is a well ordering principle of n. So as this principle is satisfied, therefore the set of natural numbers is well ordered. Next one, we know that the sum and product of two natural numbers is obviously a natural number. So therefore set n possesses the algebraic structure. But however, as we have discussed in the last class also, the set of natural numbers is not a field. Why it is not a field? Because it do not have the additive identity, which is 0, which is not a natural number, and also additive inverses are not present in the set of natural numbers, as well as multiplicative inverses are not present in set of natural numbers. So the set of natural numbers, it has the order structure compatible with the algebraic structure, means both the algebraic structures, addition and multiplication. But however, it is not a field. If we consider the set of integers, then that also we have discussed in the last class, that set of integers has an order structure compatible with the algebraic structure. But however, in the set of integers, the M5 means the fifth property of multiplication fails, because multiplicative inverses do not exist for the set of integers. Next one, third one, if we consider the set of rational numbers, then set of rational numbers has the algebraic structure and also it has the order structure. Okay, so both the order structure and algebraic structure are satisfied by the set of rational numbers. Next one, if we consider the set of real numbers, then the set of real numbers also has algebraic structure as well as the order structure. All those four examples we have studied in detail in the last class. Next one, in addition to this, the set of real numbers possesses a property which is a unique property for it, and it is the completeness property, also called as the order completeness property. It is satisfied by the set of real numbers and it is not satisfied by the set of rational numbers. That property later on we are going to study in the next class. Now next one we will discuss about the intervals. Open intervals, closed intervals and semi-closed or semi-open intervals. So the next point is intervals, in which we are going to study open intervals, closed intervals and semi-open, also called as semi-closed intervals. Okay, so we'll define first of all interval. A subset, let us denote that subset by capital letter A. So a subset A of the set of real numbers, set of real numbers we denote by capital R, is called, that subset is called an interval, if the set capital A contains, if it contains at least two distinct elements at least two distinct elements or members also we call it as, okay, and A contains every element lying between any two members of the set A. See once again how the interval is defined. So if we have any subset A of the set of real numbers, okay, subset of the set of real numbers R, suppose that set we denote by the letter A, then that A will be called as interval if it satisfies two conditions. The first condition is that A contains at least two distinct elements. Okay, set A must contain at least two distinct elements. And the second condition is that A must contain every element lying between any two elements of the set A. Which means that, for example, if X and Y are two members from the set A, then every real number lying between X and Y must again be a member of the set A. This means the second condition, okay. So if these two conditions are satisfied by the set A, then that set A is called as an interval. Like such, the interval is defined. Now we will see some of the intervals. The first one we will discuss about the open interval. Open interval. See here, if A and B are any two real numbers, such that A is less than B, means A and B are two distinct real numbers with A less than B, then the open interval from A to B, open interval A to B means open interval AB also it is called sometimes, okay. So open interval A to B is denoted by this notation in the circular bracket A comma B, or also we denote it by the notation in the open square bracket A comma B. Note that here this square bracket is open from both the sides, okay, and is defined by that open interval A to B is defined by the equation, and that equation is open interval A to B, which is equal to the another notation open interval A to B, and it is the set of all the real numbers X such that A is less than X is less than B. So if we consider the set of all real numbers lying between A and B, excluding both endpoints A and B, both endpoints A and B are not members of this set, okay, then that set is called as a open interval A to B. Therefore, open interval A to B consists of all real numbers lying between A and B, okay, consists of all real numbers between A and B, excluding both endpoints. Here A and B are endpoints of the interval, so excluding both endpoints A and B. So like such we have the open interval A to B, okay. So this is about the open interval. The next one, second one, will go for the closed interval. closed interval. Closed interval A to B will define now. If A and B are two real numbers with A less than B. If A and B are two real numbers with A less than B, then the set of all real numbers between A and B, including both endpoints, A and B, and it is denoted by the notation. The notation is in the square bracket A comma B. Therefore, we have closed interval A to B. It is equal to the set of all x such that A is less than equal to x is less than equal to B. In such a way, the closed interval we have defined. Next one, number 3, is the semi-open or semi-closed interval. Semi-open or semi-closed interval. If A and B are two real numbers with A less than B, then the set of all real numbers between A and B, including A but not including B, okay, which includes A but do not includes B, including A but not B, is called semi-open interval. A to B. Or we have the another semi-open interval also, which includes all the real numbers lying between A and B and includes B but not A. Then that type of interval is also called as a semi-open interval or semi-closed interval A to B, and it is denoted by so the first type of semi-open interval which we have discussed here, so it will be denoted by this way. It is closed from the left side and open from the right side. So it is semi-closed interval A to B. And second type of semi-open interval which is open from the left side and closed from the right side will be denoted by this notation. Okay. So like such we have semi-open or semi-closed intervals. For clarification of these concepts, we will consider one example. Let us consider open interval 2 to 5, semi-open interval 2 to 5, semi-open interval but it is open from the right side 2 to 5, and the closed interval 2 to 5. In the same diagram, draw this. So first of all, suppose A is our set open interval 2 to 5, B is semi-open interval 2 to 5, C is semi-open interval 2 to 5, and D is closed interval 2 to 5. Okay. We will draw this on the number line. We have this number line. On this number line, suppose here it is 0. To the left side of it is negative numbers -1, -2 and so on. And to the right side we have the positive numbers such as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and beyond. Now first of all we will consider the set A, which is the open interval 2 to 5. So open interval 2 to 5 means it consists of all the real numbers lying between 2 and 5 but do not includes any one of its end point. So open interval 2 to 5 consists of all the real numbers lying between 2 and 5 but it neither includes 2 nor 5. So this is the open interval 2 to 5, which is our set A, which I have denoted by this red colored line, open interval 2 to 5. Next one, the semi-open interval 2 to 5 means the set B will consider. This semi-open interval 2 to 5 is open from the left side, means 2 is not its member, but it is closed from the right side, means 5 is its member. So that I have shown by this green colored line. This is the set B, that is the semi-open interval 2 to 5. Next one, third one will consider the semi-open interval 2 to 5, which is open from the right side and closed from the left side. And this set C, which is open from the right side and closed from the left side, I am showing one by this blue colored line. So this is our set C, which is a semi-open interval 2 to 5. And finally, the fourth one is the closed interval 2 to 5. And this fourth set I am showing by this dark blue colored line. This is that. This is our set D. So like such we have the sets A, B, C and D. Okay. So the set A is open interval A to B, which means that the smallest element of set A cannot be written as it is of the form 2.00000001, but exactly it cannot be written. Okay. So the smallest element of the set A is of the form 2.00001 and so on, and the largest member of this set A is of the form 4.999999 and so on. But 5 is not its member as well as 2 is not its member. Next, if we consider the set B, then the smallest member of set B is of the form 2.00001 and the largest member of the set B is in this case 5, as it is closed from the right side. Next, set C. If we consider the set C, then the smallest member of the set C is 2 because it is closed from the left side. But however, its largest member cannot be exactly traced because it is a real number which is less than 5, but it is not exactly can be told as it is of the form 4.9999 and so on. And finally, the set D is the closed interval 2 to 5. Its smallest member is 2 and its largest member is 5. Both smallest and largest member of the set D can be mentioned as it is closed from both the sides. So likewise, we have discussed about the sets, open intervals, closed intervals and semi-open and semi-closed intervals. So we'll stop here and we'll continue in the next class. Thank you.